Okay, my absolute favourite craft so far, we're going to make pan flutes from a milk bottle. So you can see I've already started making mine. I've got my D, E, F, G, A, B and C notes here. I need a low C to go with this, and I'm going to make that with you today. Let me show you what you need first. You will need some milk bottles. You will need a couple of them. To get all 8 notes, you'll need probably 3. Unless you've got the bigger ones, you might need less then. You'll need tape, you'll need scissors, you'll need some cardboard. These are just the flaps of a ice cream box or a cereal box. They're kind of the perfect width for this. You'll need a ruler or another straight edge and something to measure, because you'll need to do some accurate measuring with this to get the right notes. And something cylindrical, sort of around about roughly 1/4 inch, just a chunky felt pen. That's what I'm going to use, and that works just fine. You will also need to make some paper mache paste. Now you can do this with PVA glue and water and a little bit of salt. The salt helps to stop it going mouldy, which you will need to do, so definitely add some salt to your mix. There's other ways of making it. You can make it with flour and water. I will put a link to a website that gives some good detailed instructions in the description. Okay, the great thing about milk bottles is that they are really easy to work with. So even if you use any other plastic bottle, the plastic is really hard to move and hard to manipulate. Not milk bottles, they're really easy to fold and roll, as you'll see in a moment. But we need to get a strip of it like this, a nice rectangular strip, and there's a fairly easy way of doing this. If you look carefully at the milk bottle, either side of the label, you've got 2 faint lines. You can just see them here and up here. Now, we can cut this strip out quite easily. First of all, just cut near the top. I'm not going to do it right now, but cut near the line at the top here and keep this bit. You can use this for other crafts. There's an elephant craft online that you can use this bit for. It's really great. And then you need to do the same at the bottom. Cut just below this line, as close to it as you can, without actually cutting along it, because it's better to actually draw along the line with a straight edge so you can get a nice clean cut. Keep this. I kept this bottom bit and I used it to mix my paper mache paste in, so that could come in handy as well. Okay, but that's what you need to do. Get this strip all the way around, cut out. Now, one other useful thing to note is there is another faint line just along here. When you've cut the main strip out and cut along these lines, you can cut through this line to give you a nice straight edge going vertically as well. Okay, so you should have a strip that looks like this. Yours will be a bit longer. I've already used this to make 2 of the shorter pipes. But I'm going to, as I said, I've got C to make still. So that's the longest pipe, the low C. It's 15.2 centimeters long. Make sure you measure carefully. You want to be as accurate as you possibly can be. So we're going to get our ruler, and you'll need something to mark it with. Line it up neatly, nice and carefully at the edge here. Use your best measuring skills now. Find 15 and got 2 more millimeters after that, 15.2. I'm going to mark it once. I'm going to come up here and mark it again to try and give myself the straightest line I can possibly get. So 15.2. Now I'm going to use my ruler again, my straight edge, whatever you're using. I'm going to go through those 2 marks, and there I have the line to cut. With your scissors, just cut this carefully, as straight as you can. Don't discard any bits, because it might well be that it's big enough for one of the bits later on, so you just keep hold of it. But we should have this now. Now it's a roll. So first things first, get a few bits of masking tape ready, because you'll need to be quick with this. So I get 3 bits ready, just long enough to wrap around the tube, so that's not too long at all. Now I take my cylinder. Now I'm going around this wider bit here, so I'm going to keep that in the middle. Try and keep it as regular as I can all the way along. Now this is the tricky bit. You might want to just turn some of the edges in. It's actually not too hard with a milk bottle. Just pinch in with your thumb as you come over and just pull it round. And try and keep these edges in line with each other as best you can. Once you've got to there, you want to put a bit of tape right there in the middle to hold it in place while you tape down the other parts, the other ends. If you've got someone to help you do this, that'd be very useful, because it can be a bit tricky trying to pinch and tape at the same time. Once you've done that, just pull the other bits into place and tape at either end. Now, it doesn't matter too much if one end's a bit narrower than the other. Shouldn't make much difference. Do remember to just pinch it back together at this point before you put your tape on. Okay, so the final step is to paper mache one of these ends shut. We need it to be sealed, tightly sealed, airtight. And I've tried a few different things, and this has been the one that has had the best success rate. I've got my paper mache mix here. I've used PVA glue, water and salt. There are a few different ways, as I mentioned before. Check out the link if you're not sure, and you can make your own using just flour and water. Okay, that's all you need to do at this stage. I've cut 4 rectangular pieces of paper that are wider and longer than the end that I'm trying to cover. I think any paper will do. Newspapers are commonly used, but I've just used part of an old envelope. So you just dip it in the glue, in the paste, and it's soak up. Nice and wet, so that it just folds around your tube. Press it down. Doesn't really matter what way you do it. Just push it down all around. Try and make sure those edges are sealed. Now, one other thing I need to mention is that I have found it most effective as it's drying to push in with my thumb here. So not necessarily now, but just a few times while it's drying to make sure that this is dipping in. It seems to work a lot better. I have no idea why, but it is well worth doing if you want your pipes to make that pipe sound that we're looking for. So the easiest way of doing this is to slide it onto one of your fingers. You can just get your paintbrush and paint it like this without getting too messy. Okay, so we're just going to do our final piece now. We just need to put it all together. I painted my tabs. I'm going to turn one over. I'm going to put some tape down the back of it. If you've got some double-sided tape, that'd be quite useful at this point. I'm just going to loop this over. I'm going to start to stick my pipes in place now. Just try really carefully to line these up. On the neck, all in line. Okay, I'm going to take my other tab. I'm going to do the same thing with the tape. Now I will have to paint over this masking tape again, but we're going to go all the way around. We really want to firmly secure this down.